ready?
Yeah.
All right, so what's up, Crypto Gnome community? This is Alex, the CEO and founder of Celsius. Did I get that right?
Yes.
And I just want to introduce you guys to this. It's not often that we find little projects that interesting, but he gave a really nice talk here yesterday, and I wanted to introduce the Celsius project and Alex and have him tell you a little bit about what he covered yesterday in his talk, and then a little bit about Celsius.
Sure. Thanks for having us. And Celsius Network is really a community-based platform that is helping people earn interest on their crypto. So you can deposit crypto and start earning interest immediately. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And we issue dollar loans. So if you have crypto, instead of selling it and paying taxes, you can deposit it and basically borrow dollars. And in some cases, the dollars are even the interest is tax deductible.
Yeah.
So it's a great way for people who need some dollars not to sell their coins and continue hodling and so on. And yesterday we launched a new version of the app that also has our Sell Pay service, which allows you to send crypto to anyone on the planet, even if they don't have a crypto account.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Right, so you don't have to call someone and say, hey, do you have a Bitcoin account? Send me your address. And then you have to plug it in, and then you have to send it, and you call them to see if they received it or not. So you can just go say, hey, I'm sending you $10, send it to you via SMS or WhatsApp or Facebook or any social media platform, and they can retrieve it, and when they retrieve it, you know that they retrieved it, and until then the money is actually still sitting in your account.
Now, can they retrieve that in whatever form they want? So if we were to send 0.001 Bitcoin or something for
Yep.
coffee or lunch, could they choose to pick, will that come in the same currency, or could they choose, maybe they don't have, or they want it in fiat or a different coin?
Right,
or
so
just
what
get
happens
settled?
today is that Celsius creates immediately an account for them. It's free, there's no fees for the transfer or anything like that. If they want to withdraw it, then they have to use one of our partners who provides, for example, a bridge to fiat, to dollars or to yen or to euros. So we don't do that piece, but we have partners that we have to work with who provide that liquidation. So if you're a merchant and you want to accept SellPay, you can also say, okay, I want to accept SellPay, here's my account number, and Celsius will pick a vendor for you that will basically liquidate that and put it into your bank account.
Awesome. Now, yesterday you also talked about how, which this resonated with me a lot, how banks have way too much control and they don't pay out. We all keep our money in banks, and you don't get anything out of it. So they're just taking.
Well, it's worse than that, right? If we didn't get anything and everything was wonderful and there were no crises and collapses, then it will be okay. But banks take your money, right? You make a deposit. They pay you less than 1%. Then they turn around and give me your money. It's not their money. They're giving me your money, and they charge me 24% on my credit card.
Yeah.
So they give you only 10% of what they make. They keep 90% of the value, right? So if your real estate broker kept 90% of the house that they sold for you, would you hire them?
No.
No, but we make deposits to banks every day.
Yeah.
So we said, why don't we reverse that? Why don't we create a platform in which we only take 10% and we give 90% back to the guy who gave us the capital?
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. So we're similar to like a community bank, but we're doing it in crypto. So we collect the interest and the payments from all the people who borrow, and we pay 90% of that back to the community.
Very nice.
It's very simple. Now, all of our competitors collect all that interest and put it in our pockets.
Yeah.
So we charge less than Salt or Nexo or all these other companies that are doing it for the community. They're not doing it for the community. Show me $1 that they return to any crypto holder.
So a little bit deeper into that. You're returning it to Celsius holders? Or
We return it to
users?
any depositor of Celsius. So when you deposit coins with us, the way we pay you interest is because we're creating value through these other payments.
Yeah.
So it's a proof of stake implementation. We have a giant stake pool of BTC, and as you're adding your coins into the pool, let's say you become 1% of the pool. Right? Because we have 100 coins, you added 1 coin. So you're now 1% of the pool. When this pool received an interest income, the smart contract looks and says, oh, you have 1%, it gives you 1% in interest distribution.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it works. So So we're treating everybody equally. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or if you just have $10. We treat everybody equally, and we're making payments pro rata. Walk into your bank account and tell them you have $1 billion and see what rate they give you, and tell them you have $10 and see what rate they give you.
Yeah.
You have $10, they're gonna kick you out of the bank. They'll be like, we don't need you, right? So we try to create a community where everybody's treated equally, and the purpose of the community is to maximize the distribution.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of what the bank's purpose is. The purpose of the bank is to pay you as little as possible and charge me as much as possible. Celsius charges as little as possible, a third of what Nexa charges, a quarter of what the Salt charges. Why? Because we don't need to charge more.
Yeah.
We issued the industry largest loan, $5 million to a single individual who gave us $10 million worth of Bitcoin, and we charged him 5%, right? Why would he do that? Because he couldn't get a 5% loan anywhere else. We don't do income verification. We don't do employment verification. We don't do credit scores because we don't need it. These are all asset-backed loans. You have to give us the Bitcoin to get the dollars. And if something happened, if you don't make a payment, we have your Bitcoin. We're going to use that to make sure that our community is made whole.
Yeah. And I had some questions that I had talked to Lee, and she cleared them up. And if you guys have questions, we can go over it in the Discord about security and stuff. But she gave a really good explanation of where it goes.
We use BitGo.
Yeah.
So BitGo is a very well-known custodian. BitGo.com. They just raised $150 million from Goldman Sachs and all kind of other companies. So very safe. The address you see when you download our wallet, the address you see, you can go and check. It's a BitGo address. It's not our address. So we don't even touch it. It goes straight into BitGo, and then it's loans only issued to people who give us the deposit. They have to give us a deposit first, so there's zero chance that we will not get the money back.
It sounds safer than FDIC insured bank.
Well, I can't say that because
Maybe
we're
not
not
safer,
FDIC.
It's backed.
There's no leverage in our platform. So most people don't know that banks have 10 or 20 to 1 leverage. It's called fractional reserve. They can lend $10 for every dollar that they have in deposit.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have no leverage. The opposite. We require $2 to lend you $1.
Yep.
So we have negative leverage versus banks that have 10 to 20 times leverage. So most people say, "Well, you're not as safe as a bank," and I'm saying, look, you know, all these banks were. How safe were they in 2008 when they all had to be bailed out? And they got bailed out with our money.
Yeah.
The government took our money and gave it to the banks after they risked all of our assets and so on. So, look, I think Satoshi didn't create the blockchain and Bitcoin specifically to help the banks. The Bitcoin was created to create an alternative universe, a place where all of it will be done in our best interest. And I don't think any of your viewers can look at me in the face and say, the banks are acting in my best interest. The insurance companies are acting in my best interest. The broker-dealers are acting in my best interest.
No, we just put up with it.
We put up with it because we don't have an alternative. And these guys protect themselves by issuing all these rules, right? After the 2008 collapse, they wrote the Dodd-Frank rules at 60,000 pages of regulation. And the outcome of it was that no new banks got opened. Did you see any new community bank open in your neighborhood?
No.
The opposite. They all get bought by the big guys.
Yeah.
And what we have is less.
Absorbed,
Today we have less banks, 320 less banks than we had 10 years ago. So what we need to do, we cannot fix that by voting or by going to Congress or by expecting our president to do something for the people.
Yeah.
The only way this is going to be fixed is if we create a system that acts in the best interest of the people, for the people, by the people. And we are fully transparent. Every one of our transactions is recorded on a blockchain. You can see how many loans we issued, who did we give them to, how much we collected in interest, and you can compare your 1% to what everybody else received. So it's a fully transparent audit. None of the banks in the world does that. Why? They don't want you to know that they have only 10% of the assets that you think they do. But you raised something else that was very important, which was this wave of adoption. I'm old enough to have seen this in 94, 95 when the internet was just born and the first few applications came to be. And again, there was a combination of a wave of applications, like Netscape was just an application, it was a browser, and that's what kind of ignited the internet, and then everybody started digging up the streets and laying fiber, and then we had enough fiber, and then we got the wireless services, and then we got the dApps, and the apps and wireless and everything else, right? So these
still-
are waves of innovation.
We're still struggling.
And we're
to come
still
up with the
struggling to get enough
infrastructure.
speed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the same thing with crypto, right? Yesterday was a 10-year anniversary for Bitcoin, and we're struggling with the killer app. And the killer app is not going to be a new protocol. It's not going to be a faster blockchain. It needs to be an app, an application that everybody uses. And we think that Celsius is providing those three. The one is loans. Everybody needs a loan.
Yep.
Two is deposit. Everybody wants to earn interest. And the third one is a payment mechanism that is free and transparent and is you can interact with anybody on the planet, not just with people that have coins in your color.
Yeah.
So that's what we have today. We can only transact Bitcoin with Bitcoin, Ether with Ether, and so on, so on. So
Yeah. That's why the SMS or the money over IP. You
yes,
call it, yeah.
money over IP.
That's exciting to me, and yeah, thanks for sharing your points. And I hope you guys that gave you a good gist of why I wanted to have Alex on quick.
And try it on. I mean,
yeah.
go to our Telegram channel, see what other people are saying, download the app, put $1 in there, send it to somebody, see how it works, and then
I just signed up today, so I'm waiting on KYC. and then I'm gonna text someone, and
Perfect.
it's easy, right? They get it, and then even if they don't have the app installed, it'll walk them through it, right?
yeah, it's pretty simple. But if you want, I can demo. I can send you a few bucks as we speak. So you're not gonna say no to receiving a few free dollars,
No.
right? So.
Can you touch on the use of blockchain in projects like you did yesterday?
Touch on.
On the use of using blockchain in projects. You talked about how if you actually pulled the blockchain out, would they still run?
Yes. So I've been in the community since 2013. I bought my first coin back in 2013, and again you see this. The first few projects, if you're looking at the early project, even before Ethereum, I'm talking about, right? The first few projects, they were all basically just improvements on the blockchain, right? Improvements on Bitcoin, improvements on Litecoin, and so on. And what we have now is this, Cambrian explosion, 5,000 new projects that are really trying to create a use case for the blockchain. But most of these projects are not reinventing healthcare or real estate or something else. They're just trying to inject a blockchain into some existing business and hope that it's going to run faster or better or cheaper. And the blockchain is not really used for that. I mean, the purpose of the blockchain is to reinvent the process, is to take, for example, the financial world where you have a centralized toll collector like a bank or an insurance company through which all transactions are going, and that bank or that toll collector decides who gets a loan, who gets to transact, what fees are charged, how long it's going to take, right? It takes 5 days to clear a check. It should take 5 seconds, not 5 days. We know that the bank...
That's the worst part of it.
They're just stealing your money, legally, stealing your money. So the purpose of the blockchain, the purpose of different cryptocurrencies is to create a different system. So my measurement of a good project is if they say, okay, I'm using a blockchain, I'm using a coin, okay, what happens when I take the coin out? If everything still runs, everything still operates, then there's no purpose for the coin. If I can rip out the entire blockchain and your project still continues running, then why are you using a blockchain, right? So it has to be inherent and fundamental to the project. Without it, it would not work. And the whole purpose of it is to do something that cannot be done in the traditional world. If I'm doing the same thing a bank does, then I didn't solve anything. The whole point, for example, about the Celsius system is that anyone on the planet can be part of this platform, even if I have to pay you 2 cents, and I can still make that payment without the cost of the transaction eating up everything that I have to pay. Because if we didn't use a token, and I have to distribute a payment, right, from this pool of BTC to 100 million people, how are we going to do that? I can't do it through Visa or MasterCard. I can't do it through banks. So this is the only mechanism that enables people to participate and have full transparency, meaning they can see after the fact what happened, who got treated how. It's immutable, so there's no way to have monkey business, because that's how we get in trouble. In 2008, that's how we got in trouble. People told you that they were doing one thing, and under the hood, they were doing something completely different. And they risked the entire economy just because they wanted a bigger bonus.
I agree.
So we cannot let that happen again. The only way we're not going to let it happen again is if we create our own garden in which we set the rules. And these rules have to be in the best interest of the community. And you can look at everything we do, and show us if there's any way to do it better. We are all ears. We want to improve the service. We're like Costco. If you're familiar with Costco, right?
Yeah.
You pay a membership. Our membership right now is 1 cell token. It's 5 cents, right? And then you get entry into this warehouse full of services. Right now we only have 3 or 4. But the idea is to have 20 or 50 tomorrow that are all acting in your best interest. Just like you walk into Costco, you don't think about, oh, should I buy this orange juice or should I check the prices on Amazon to see if it's cheaper or better? You know these guys did the best to get you the best quality at the best price.
So I have one more question. Now that we're talking about the Celsius token, just a quick. All right, let me reset this. You can talk about that, but I had a different question first. Internal exchange. I know there's nothing about this, but it comes to my mind, or maybe it doesn't even need to be an exchange, but is this on your mind to be able to use dollars or use an outside service to purchase Celsius tokens within, or purchase Bitcoin within?
Yeah, so we are a partner with multiple exchanges. We will be listed on multiple exchanges, and on those exchanges you will be able to buy or sell tokens in and out of dollars or yen or euros or anything like that. So that's coming. It's going to be here soon. The reason we haven't we did an ICO. We raised $52 million in March. The reason we did not list since March is because every exchange we sat with, and we asked them, we said, look, you want us to bring our community to your exchange. We need you, the exchange, to tell us that you don't front run your customers, meaning you don't cheat your own customers.
Yeah.
You don't short the ICOs that list on your exchanges, right? And you don't do monkey business. You don't do all kind of manipulation where you suddenly make the prices drop and you liquidate your own customers because you're making more fees and things like that. If you give us a just sign on a piece of paper that you're not doing any of those things, we will list you.
Okay.
And none of the exchanges were willing to do it. Why? Because they all do it. So we decided that we cannot, in good faith, bring our community into this world where they're cheating their own customers, and do good by the community. So we finally found a few exchanges that agreed to sign this declaration, and because of that, we'll be listing with them. So we just waited to make sure that we find the right people.
Okay. Well, thanks, Alex. It was nice chatting with you.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks, guys. Hope this, I don't know, good intro. I always muffle on words. We don't do cuts, but it was
Go
nice
crypto.
chatting with you.
That's all you have to say.
Yeah,
go
crypto. And we'll
Hodl, hodl, hodl.
see you guys.